I'm one of a few people who have had the incredible pleasure to help organize today's event. And I have to say, I was telling Coach Pratt this week as we were sitting in his office preparing for today that I feel like it's just a big family reunion. So I've been exchanging emails and phone calls and text messages for the past couple of months. So we are excited that today is here and thankful that each of you are here. Before we begin, we would like to just take a moment to reflect on some of the achievements that our athletic department received last year. In 2016-17, we had 727 academic all-district awards. We also had 161 academic all-state awards. We had 17 district championships. We had 16 programs advance to the regional qualifiers. We had 9 programs advance to state. And probably one of the most exciting things is our McKinney North High School girls track team won state for the second year in a row. So, yes. Finally, on the screen, you'll see that we have this picture is an indication of all the student athletes last year that received collegiate scholarships, athletic scholarships to go play at the next level. As you can see, it's a pretty big group, and more importantly, well represented across all 3 of our high schools, so that's something that we're very proud of. These accomplishments were only made possible because of the path that was paved before them by inductees that are going to be in this room, teams that are in this room, inductees over the last couple of years. So we just want to say thank you for the example that you set, and thank you for making McKinney ISD an incredible place to be. I'm going to turn it back over to Coach Pratt so we can get started. Thank you.
We have a very special class today. I believe everybody in here, when you leave today, you're going to go, wow, that was a special group of people. And I think throughout this program, it's going to illustrate just how special this group is. And a lot of great people that had a huge influence, not on just McKinney ISD athletics, but McKinney ISD and the town of McKinney. And we're gonna honor them today in this program, and it's gonna be special.
Coach Leonard Evans, in his book Up from the Fields, John H. Bailey II was quick to give praise to his high school football, basketball, and track coach. When Bailey lost his father in 1957, he wrote that Leonard Evans became a father figure to me. Indeed, Bailey's words have become a familiar sentiment over the past 1/2 century in McKinney. As an educator, Evans began his teaching career at Lincoln High School in Dallas, and eventually made it back home to McKinney, where he taught math and coached at the segregated Doty High School before becoming the first African-American teacher and coach in McKinney ISD. However, his legacy goes far beyond the classroom and the field of play. Although Doty High School was where he earned the endearing name of coach, he also played a role as an assistant coach for the McKinney High School football team. Coach Evans continued as an educator at McKinney ISD for over 3 decades. He later served as an administrator and was the first African-American member of the McKinney ISD Board of Trustees, where he served the community for 16 years. In 2004, a new middle school in McKinney was named in his honor. And in 2014, Leonard Evans was the recipient of the McKinney Chamber of Commerce's inaugural E.S. Doty Trailblazer Award. Leonard Coach Evans recently went home on January 2nd, 2018. For his leadership and unselfish dedication to the McKinney community, as well as the impact he's made on McKinney ISD, the Athletic Hall of Honor inducts the late Leonard Evans as part of the class of 2018.
So first, I want to thank Superintendent Dr. McDaniel and the McKinney Independent School District Athletic Department Selection Committee for choosing my dad to be inducted into the Hall of Honor. When I sat down to gather my thoughts on what I needed to say today, I drew from memories of my dad and tried to come up with thoughts or something that I thought he would say if he were here. I think first he would say that this is such an awesome honor, and he's grateful and thankful to receive it. Then he might try to crack a joke or something and say, "What took y'all so long?" But then I think he might look at the crowd and command your attention like he did his classroom or his locker room and give a few words of advice. I believe he would remind us all that we have come a long way and that the groundwork has been laid. But he would also let us know that we still have a lot of work to do. And then I think he would look to us, his family, and give us specific instructions. He would remind us of all the things he taught us and to not let him down. Then he would say that he expects each and every one of us to pull our weight, to do what we know we need to do and what needs to be done so that the foundation he laid with his sweat, hard work, and perseverance was not laid in vain. I believe that he would remind us that our family has a purpose in which to use his life as a guide to ensure that his legacy continues on the path in which he started, and that we live each day to help each other, our community, our schools, and our city. We truly have big shoes to fill. Now my dad, he's in heaven, and what we, his family, would say to him is that we are so very, very proud to call you Daddy. He has earned his crown of glory, and his heavenly Father has said to him that you fought the good fight. You have finished the race. You have kept the faith. And finally, there's laid up for you the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, the Lord has said to you, well done, thy good and faithful servant, well done.
Contributor and supporter inductee, Scott Johnson. Fresh out of college with a Bachelor of Science degree from North Texas State University in 1953, Scott Johnson's first job landed him as a junior high school coach and teacher in McKinney. Not many knew then that it was the start of a storied 35-year teaching and coaching career that left an indelible mark in the community. Coaching football and basketball, including his role as an assistant on the 1966 McKinney Lions football team, Johnson served as head basketball coach and eventually became head football coach and athletic director in 1968. He was elevated to assistant superintendent in 1972. 8 years later, as the city was on the cusp of unprecedented growth, Johnson became the superintendent of schools. Even after his retirement in 1988, Johnson served several stints as interim superintendent at various local school districts, all the while remaining an integral part of local professional and civic organizations. He also served as director of the Texas High School Coaches Association, was an education consultant, and tended to cattle and crops on the family farm in Collinsville after his retirement. In 2001, McKinney ISD named a middle school in his honor. For his everlasting mark on McKinney ISD and the community, the Athletic Hall of Honor inducts the late Scott Morgan Johnson as part of the class of 2018.
I just want to take the time to thank everyone in the room for attending. It's very humbling to see how many took the time today to pay tribute to these honorees. Thank you to Jennifer Frazier and Sean Pratt for putting this special day together. Also, a special thank you to Wendell Shelton for coming today and sitting with our family. Wendell was like a brother to my dad for over 60 years. And I want to publicly thank Coach Ron Poe. Am I too close? Coach Poe has always spoken at important events for my dad, even gave the eulogy at his funeral service. Thank you, Coach Poe, for your friendship and service with my dad and our entire family. And I can tell you nothing would make my dad and my mom happier, for that matter, than having all 5 of their grandkids and families in the same room. So thank you, boys and Kara, for being here. My dad was never one to really reminisce or tell stories about his playing or coaching days, but he had a true love and admiration for every student and staff member he ever coached or ever hired. And I can tell you, he had a little gleam in his eye about the 1966 team, always talking about how good Mike James and countless others were, and how dominant the defense was that I believe shut out the district. Unfortunately for you guys, he also often reminded me how good Steve Wooster was. Seriously, though, I had several players on that team come up to me at the football game last fall and tell me how integral a part my dad was to that team and what a difference he had made in their lives. My dad would have been honored to be here today and included with this class. It would have thrilled him to see men like Jeff Lackey and Mike Sessom, who he coached in Little League or youth basketball alongside my brother, be inducted today, and peers like Leonard Evans. In fact, I'm sure Coach Evans and Dad are looking down on us right now with big smiles on their faces, but wondering why on earth are we making such a big fuss about them. It's kind of a running joke in our house, and Kim and the boys often roll their eyes and laugh about how proud I am to be a McKinney Lion. But being in this room today, I think they realize why. Although none of our family still lives in McKinney, this school district, this town, this place will always hold a special place to the Scott Johnson family. And I'm so proud that my dad, in some small way, helped create that. Thank you again for coming today. And again, heartfelt congratulations to all the honorees.
I just have to say, wow, what an event, what a crowd. Football team, Coach Poe, man, it doesn't get any better than this. And I'm just happy to be here. I thank the district or the committee for honoring my father. When they honor my father, they honor my mother. And I appreciate that. My dad had 5 grandkids. They're all here, and 2 great-grandkids that are here. And I'm thankful he was able to meet, well, I take that back. He didn't meet Lila, but he met his grandson, his only, so far, great-grandson. Didn't quite meet his great-granddaughter. He saw all his grandkids, well, the oldest grandkids get married. My dad had a great run, and McKinney was a huge part of that. He was extremely proud to, which I think is pretty rare in that coaching profession, his whole career here. It's a big deal to me because I got to be raised here with my brother. Great town. I tell people I meet every day, it's the best place in the world to grow up. And I just want to thank you. I want to say something to Mike and Jeff. I'm real proud for you guys. It's a wonderful honor for y'all. The football team, my dad loved that team. He loved to talk about Robbie Clark and Little Jack Fabian and Keith Reeder. And, you know, I think it was neat that as he grew older, and you guys did too, you know, from being his students in the 60s, y'all were his friends in the 70s and 80s, and we would run into somebody at a ball game or a cafe or somewhere in town, and I think you couldn't say it today, but back then, my dad knew everybody in town, and that always made me very comfortable. And so I'm sorry I've rambled on here. I'm a rambler, but thank you very, very much for this honor, and we'll cherish it always. Thank you.
Senior class inductee, Jeff Lackey. As a left-handed pitcher, Jeff Lackey could simply be dominant. So dominant in that one stretch during his senior year he threw back-to-back no-hitters and struck out 27 of 32 batters faced. In all, Lackey threw 8 no-hitters and was named to the Class 4A All-State team in 1981. The same season, the Lions advanced to the state semifinals. He was the district MVP as both a junior and a senior. In 1980, Lackey gave up just 17 hits in 68 innings and struck out 132 batters. As a senior, his numbers were an eye-popping 196 strikeouts in 96 innings. Lackey was a part of 3 straight district championship teams and never allowed more than 3 hits in any of his starts for the Lions, as he struck out 398 batters and amassed a 30-8 record in his career. A start by Lackey on the mound often brought major league scouts from around the country. He finished his high school career as the starting pitcher for the North Squad in the Texas All-Star Game and was drafted by the Baltimore Orioles in the 3rd round of the Major League Baseball draft in the summer of 1981. Lackey pitched professionally through the end of the 1985 season, appearing in 47 games and pitching in 169 innings before shoulder and back surgeries ended his career. Lackey's love for the game continued as he coached his son and daughter and spent time as a pitching instructor. For his prowess on the mound and as a McKinney Lion, the Athletic Hall of Honor inducts Jeff Lackey as part of the class of 2018.
I'd like to start out by thanking the athletic department at MISD for this honor you have given me. Coach Pratt, you've always been very good to me, and I can't thank you enough for that, wherever you are. Jennifer and Shelley, thank you for keeping me updated on all the details of this. And thank you for all the people that made this event possible today. As I think back on my athletic career at McKinney High School, thanks, Scotty, for making me cry a while ago. I really don't think about all the stats and accolades. I think about the people I was with who molded me into the person I am. I don't really care about the numbers. I care about the lifelong friends I made during my years in MHS. We couldn't have had better role models to look up to than the coaches and teachers we had. Coach Poe, Coach Crumpton, both Coach Hales, Coach Tips, Coach Harden, Coach Justice, both Coach Duncans, to name a few. I know I'm leaving several people out, but these people were filled with character and integrity. Where am I here? And I thank each and every one of them with all my heart for giving your time to me to make me a better person. The greatest decision I've ever made in my life was accepting Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. And it was Coach Poe who prayed with me when God chose me to be his disciple for Christ. I'm grateful to Coach Poe for the prayers you made on my behalf. Those of you who know me well may say I have a great work ethic. It was Coach Crumpton, Coach Hales, and Coach Tips who always made us give 100%. Every second we were on a baseball field, football field, whether it was a practice or a game. Coach Crumpton, you taught me that working hard will get me where I need to be in sports and in life, and I'm forever grateful. My family means the world to me. I remember back in the summer of 1979, right before my junior year, I decided to give up playing football because I knew that I probably had a decent career in baseball ahead of me. And I didn't want to jeopardize getting hurt. And my dad, sitting over here, Dave, was fit to be tied. He just about killed me for not showing up for 2 days. So little did he know that God had another plan, and even better than football that year. In October of '79, I met my beautiful wife. I met the beautiful Shelley Stinson in October of that year, and as of this year, in October, we'll have been together 39 years. You were with me every step of the way through my high school and pro career, and I can't thank you enough for keeping me grounded in my faith and showing me love when I didn't deserve it. Our 3 kids, Megan, Matt, and Mark, are amazing people, and I have you, Shelley, to thank for that. They have given us 5 amazing grandkids who I love dearly. I want to thank my parents, Dave and Dottie, the best mother-in-law, Peggy Stinson, and my late father-in-law, Herschel, for always being there for me. Mom and Dad, thank you for supporting me and my love for baseball and always giving me what I needed to be successful both on and off the field. A guy couldn't ask for more loving, wonderful people to call Mom and Dad. My brother Steve and my sister Jeannie, thank you for your support over the years. As you can see, I have had some wonderful people in my life to show me what God, character, hard work, and family can do for a person, and I will be forever grateful for those of you here in this room and those who aren't here that impacted my life over the years that made this honor possible. Thank you for being here today.
Senior class inductee Mike Sessom. As soon as he was old enough, Mike Sessom was determined to wear the blue and gold of the McKinney Lions. Sessom was a multi-sport star, playing baseball in the summer, football in the fall, and competing in track in the spring. McKinney athletics have always been a big part of his life. He was one of the few underclassmen to start for Ron Poe's defense in 1979 when the Lions won the Class 3A state football championship. By the spring of 1981, Sessom was a cornerstone first baseman for the school's baseball team as it advanced to the state semifinals. He earned all-district honors in all 3 seasons for both baseball and football for coaches Jerry Crumpton and Ron Poe. Sessom finished his high school career as a part of the Texas All-Star team, playing in the Oil Bowl in Wichita Falls, where he kicked 2 extra points. Sessom wasn't through with high school athletics, though. After graduating from East Texas State University, he joined a familiar face, Ron Poe's brother, Don, on the coaching staff at Sulphur Springs and later South Garland. Today, Mike Sessom continues to contribute to the McKinney ISD athletic community as a scoreboard operator for basketball, volleyball, and baseball games. For his relentless play on the field and his tenacity to remain a part of the McKinney community, the Athletic Hall of Honor inducts Mike Sessom as a member of the class of 2018.
First of all, I need to thank first. I need to thank God. For giving life and ability. I also want to thank the honor committee. Thank you very much for selecting me. And then my next one is Coach Ron Poe and his great coaching staff have from 7th grade to high school. I started with a guy named Coach Dyer in 7th grade. I don't know if you know him, but he's a great disciplinarian. I mean good. Which got us on the right path as 7th graders, Have a great family and friends that are here. I appreciate y'all's love and support. I love all y'all. And then my great wife, Darla, we will be celebrating our 32nd anniversary in August. Can you believe she stayed with me 32 years? That's amazing. I just want to tell y'all, thank y'all for y'all love and y'all support in McKinney High School. There are 3 high schools. McKinney High School is the original. Thank you.
Modern era inductee, David Douglas. As perhaps the greatest all-around athlete in the history of McKinney North High School, few could jump higher, run faster, or elude defenders like David Douglas. On the Bulldogs football team, Douglas was impossible to cover. He set the school's single-season records for rushing yards and receptions as a junior and received first-team all-district honors as a junior and senior. He moved on to basketball, where he was a high-flying member of the Bulldogs' first regional semifinalist team under head coach Darryl Kraft, where he received all-district honors and All-Collin County Offensive Player of the Year. In the spring of David's senior season, he qualified for the regional track meet in the triple jump and discus. All of that caught the attention of the college football scouts, and Douglas eventually chose the University of Arizona. As a Wildcat, he finished with 151 career receptions, which ranks him 6th all-time at Arizona. He is also tied for the 12th most career touchdowns at Arizona with 11. Douglas later signed with the New York Giants and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers of the National Football League as a wide receiver and played in the NFL from 2012 to 2014. For his versatility and dependability in the clutch, the Hall of Honor inducts David Douglas as a part of the class of 2018.
First off, obviously just there's so many people even in this room that, I could go on and thank it. It really is like a reunion. Coach Poe and Coach Crosby and, even my elementary school nurse is here today. So, a lot of people go way back, but there are a few, specific people I want to thank. First off, my mom. She's really just always been my rock. Whether that's I need some tough love or support or someone to just get excited with me. She's been that person. And second is my dad. He's always been that that person I can go to for wisdom. He's always been able to level with me, and I know no matter what choice or decision that I've made, he's going to be there to support me and get me through it. My two sisters, Catherine and Allison, they've been all over this country for me through sports, and they just very grateful for the love that they have for me. Pete, he, my life after football, everyone here that's gone through sports, it's definitely a transition, and it's been such a blessing to have you in our lives, and you've really helped mold me and find myself as a someone without sports. So I'm just very, very grateful for that. And Coach Pratt, there's absolutely no way I'd be standing here without you. You laid the foundation for just the principles of who I am and the way I've lived, and not only approach things on the field, but in life. And you've gone to bat for me when nobody wanted to recruit me or didn't believe in me, and you made me believe in myself. And I'm just very, very thankful for you. But just thinking about really what I wanted to say, and when I got the news from Coach Pratt that I had gotten inducted, and what an honor it is to be the first from McKinney North. There's been guys that I looked up to, and a lot of great athletes and a lot of great people, but it really is such a great honor. And this is when Coach Pratt gave me the news, it's really been the first time I think I've been able to reflect back on my career. And what this means to me, I was born and raised in McKinney, been here since there's 20,000 people, there's 150,000 people now. And when you're part of a team, you're always told, no matter where you're at, you're always representing, that the guys in this room, and so you're always representing that whatever team you have on your jersey. But I've always had a sense of pride everywhere I've been of McKinney, and I felt that whether that's on the field. I wanted to make a statement for this town for what it's given me and represent McKinney and be great, because this, I'm very blessed to have, it's been said a couple times, I feel like there's no better place to grow up than here. But to be recognized with my, the fellow inductees and, the folks that have been inducted in the past, these are people I've looked up to, and they've laid the foundation for what it means to represent McKinney the right way, and just to be, my name to be a part of that legacy now is just a tremendous honor, and I'm so grateful, and just appreciate everyone in this room for taking the time, and the committee for thinking of me, and I'm very blessed and very, very thankful, and again, congrats to all the other inductees, and thanks for your time. God bless.
Modern era inductee Bobby Evans. As soon as Bobby Evans donned a McKinney Lions uniform, he was an instant force for Coach Mark Weir's team. As a sophomore, junior, and senior, Evans was named the district's Player of the Year. In his senior year in 1995, the 6'9" post averaged a staggering 20.2 points and 15.5 rebounds per game, and he was named the Texas 4A Player of the Year. In fact, his 2,057 career rebounds are the third most in Texas high school history, and Evans finished as McKinney's all-time leading scorer and rebounder. Evans was recruited by perennial powers Arkansas, Kentucky, and UCLA, but he chose Kelvin Sampson's Oklahoma Sooners. His freshman season began promising with back-to-back 20 and 18-point games before injuries limited his playing time and eventually ended his career after only 2 seasons. Nevertheless, Evans' legacy at OU continues as his sons Bobby and Tay play for the Sooners football team. For his tenacity over the rim and off the backboard, the McKinney ISD Athletic Hall of Honor inducts Bobby Evans as a part of the class of 2018.
It's been a long road, but we made it here. I like to thank God, thank my family, my mother, my sisters and brothers. I like to thank Coach Weir. He pushed me hard. You can always hear him, get the ball to Evans. Evans crashed the backboards. But he was a good man. He helped us along the way, fed us a lot. Thanks to his wife. I got some teammates here. John and Dante. Man, these guys right here, man, I tell you, more like brothers than anything. Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate you being here. You don't know how it feels. You know, so. Coach Evans' family, man, I love that guy. Just glad to know him. We're not related, but I feel like I am. I'm Evans too, so. Thanks to all the people that helped do this. Coach Pratt, I want to thank you guys. I want to thank my wife. We don't have the 39 years, but we working on 22. I have 3 sons. One you don't hear about. He better be in school, so. But I have 2 here now, Bobby, Tay. Proud of these guys. You know, it's funny, they never knew that I was good. Well, because I never told them about it. I never wanted them to mark their lives after mine. I wanted them to do something greater than me, be something better than me. So, until they got to college, they didn't know I was good. They come home, Bobby, Dad, I gotta say you were real good. So I finally opened up the books and showed them. I was like, that was all right. But through it all, I'm proud of you guys. I wish you the best. Hope you get better, do great things in life. Oldest son over here has been on the dean's list so many times. I keep getting these papers in the mail. And Jerriante's dean list. Jerriante dean list. Man, you couldn't be more proud of that than any sports, you know. See one of my old quarterbacks, Bill Poe. Y'all wouldn't believe it, I played football too. But it's good to see you, Coach Poe, his family. But I just want to thank all you guys, Coach Pratt, Jennifer. I probably get on her nerves. I text her, I emailed her so many times. I even emailed her what to wear. And she said I look good. Thank y'all.
Team inductee. The 1966 McKinney Lions football team was truly an assembly of trailblazers and future leaders. The roster and coaching staff reads like a who's who in McKinney ISD history, and the team as a whole has been hard to surpass. Coached by Hall of Honor inductee the late Tommy Hudspeth, the Lions finished the season with 13 wins and just 1 loss. That coming in the state championship game to Bridge City and the likes of future University of Texas star running back Steve Worcester. The 13-1 record remains the best ever season winning percentage in school history. The McKinney team outscored its opponents 338-19 through the first 13 games. Meanwhile, the Lions defense, which included all-district safety Larry Eubanks and first-team All-State selection Jack Fabian, the son of the school's principal, registered 10 shutouts before the state title game. 5 players on the 1966 team received Division I scholarships, and 3 were named to the All-State team, including Hall of Honor inductee Mike James. Additionally, the team was the first integrated high school team in the history of the city and included fellow Hall of Honor inductee Scott Johnson, Texas Sports Hall of Fame inductee James Cameron, and George Johnson on the coaching staff. For its unparalleled excellence on the groundbreaking achievements, the Athletic Hall of Honor inducts the 1966 McKinney Lions football team as part of the class of 2018.
It's always a retreat to turn to McKinney, and no more retreat I've ever had than that day. Thank you very much. It was home for many years and has so many good memories, but most of them are due largely to the group of guys wearing the ties. That would be the 66 team. We needed something so we could recognize each other after all that. I'm Jack Fabian, Keith Reeder. We were two of the three captains. The third, Mike James, is now deceased, and you heard a little bit about him a few minutes ago. There are some others I'd like to introduce. Our 4 varsity coaches are now deceased, but each is represented by family members, and I'd like for them to stand when I'm introduce you. Mrs. Rena Husbeth, wife of Tommy Hudspeth, who, a man of great faith, and was very soft-spoken until we didn't get the job done, at which time he could be very forcible because he cared a lot more about execution than our confidence. After leaving McKinney, he went to Longview, Sherman, coached, served as school administrator, among many honors, coached the Texas High School Football All-Stars, president of the Texas High School Coaches Association, and is a prior inductee into the Hall of Honor. Then there was Coach Cameron. James Cameron, Mrs. Cameron, June Cameron, would you please stand? Sorry. Excuse me. Coach Cameron normally had a scowl on his face. But occasionally we got a smile when we got it right. When we didn't get it right, it was do it again. And we're going to do it again until we get it right. We usually got it right, but it wasn't the first or second time. After Coach Husbeth left, Coach Cameron became head coach, and then he moved on to several places, including Howard Payne and Angelo State. Mrs. Jan Johnson, would you stand? The wife of Scott Johnson, who you now know something about. Representing Coach George Johnson, and his wife, Mary, who is now deceased, are sons, Mark and Jay, with wives, and I look at my note, Melanie and Annette. Thank you all for making the trip. Coach George Johnson left McKinney after 1 year, going to, and I don't know the order, but Waco, Temple, and Waco, Marlin and Temple, I believe. He didn't get far from home. While at Temple, they won 2 state championships in '79 and '92. But I guess his biggest claim to fame is he was a member of Bear Bryant's Junction Boys. And I would say that the Seals have nothing on those guys. I also want to acknowledge again that Coach Evans was an assistant in 1966, along with his good close friend, Coach Jesse McGowan. Thank you. The representatives are the coaching staff, the representatives here of some of the finest men I've ever known in my entire life. Thank you.
I want to thank Jennifer and Shelley and Coach Pratt for putting this thing together, and we stayed in a pretty close contact with them, and I appreciate their efforts and things because it really turned out really nice. I want to say that another person that wasn't mentioned today that did a lot for us in school, and that's Jack's dad. If y'all know Jack Crockett. Really special person, cared a lot for everybody. I get the opportunity here to introduce our players. And if I can get you guys to stand at your seat, I would appreciate that, and be recognized. John Anderson, Richard Bass, Sheriff Terry Box, Ed Bradshaw, Robbie Clark, Larry Eubanks, Roger Felter, Ron Gant, Dan Haggard, Mike Holloway, Larry Jaggers, Mike Landers, Tom Lewis, and a sophomore member of our team was Jackie Lynn, Jim Monroe, Rick Neville, Jim Nichols, David Swindle, Frank Thunder Thornton, Paul Tomberlin, John Mark White, and Philip Wood.
Congratulations to everybody that was inducted today. I think you can see it was a very, very special group and some people that have had a huge impact on this community and this school district for sure. And so we congratulate them, and we thank you all for being here and making this special for those inductees. And we invite you back next year. Every one of these is special, and we want you to come back and see. When it's just special for us to all take a day during the year and stop and recognize some really special people that have done great things in McKinney and McKinney ISD. So thank you all very much. Please drive safe going home.